So here we have a look that I think you said you wanted quite a while back ago, and you're in Barara Waters, which is a gorgeous part of Sydney. Beading, so exactly.
53-year-old Henry Roth is the managing director of a multinational bridal wear company.
And you wanted Cinderella?
Yes, I did.
Have I delivered?
You have delivered.
His parents, Annetta and Joseph, started the business in Sydney almost 60 years ago.
It's absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
You look fabulous.
Thank you.
I'm almost fainting. It's Marita, right?
Yeah.
Well, we sent thousands of girls on the red carpet to get married. They put on our garment, and they're so happy with it, they cry. And the whole family cries, because they can't believe we make them look like a princess. They look so beautiful, and that makes us very happy.
Are you saying yes to the dress?
I am saying yes to the dress.
Yeah!
For this family, each bride is a new beginning, another of life's precious moments.
We've been invited to quite some weddings, where the bride wore our gowns. And to see the bridegroom, when the bride walks in, is something to be seen. His eyes lit up, and he can't believe it. He can't believe what he sees.
Joy, absolute joy. It's a pleasure that we can see those brides being so happy.
The bridal gown symbolizes for me a new life, a new beginning. There's nothing happier for a woman when she gets married, and the future.
Joseph and Annetta are both survivors of the Holocaust. Their commitment to building new beginnings founded a multi-million-dollar business and was born out of the horrors they both endured during the Second World War.
I went through hell on earth, absolutely. That's my mother.
She was a dressmaker.
Myself and my brother. Right.
Look at that.
Here.
Annetta was 11 years old when her ordeal started in a Jewish ghetto in Poland.
When my wife was in the ghetto in Krakow, from time to time, they took people from the streets and people from the houses, put them into the trucks, and they disappeared, finished. And my wife was hiding
In a ceiling
up the top with 30 other people. And the baby started to cry, and the mother put on a pillow and killed the child. Because otherwise, if they would have heard downstairs, because the Germans were down the bottom, if they would have heard, they would have killed the whole lot.
After 2 years of terror, the Nazis destroyed the Krakow ghetto, shooting 2,000 Jews in the streets. Those who survived were shipped off to concentration camps.
Hard for me to remember all that, but I do. So I survived the ghetto, the beginning and the end. And from there, we went to concentration camp to Plaszow and sewing German uniforms.
Annetta's mother was a gifted seamstress. She taught her daughter how to sew. It's what saved them from the gas chambers.
As I was sewing the German uniforms, so my mother was teaching me how to sew up happier frocks. It means bridal. And I said to my mother, if I get out of that hell, I'll do something, happy things for other people to be happy. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing now. And we have got actually a happy business.
Come on, Reggie. Okay, that's enough. Okay. Don't break it, otherwise you won't get down.
I've seen enough girls. Lovely wedding dresses.
Annetta and Joseph's bridal business is a Holocaust survivor success story. In the post-war years, Jewish refugees flocked to Australia. By 1961, 27,000 were calling Australia home. Many of them forged their names in the schmutter business, Yiddish for rag trade. Low start-up costs, combined with their sewing skills and strong work ethic, meant that many quickly prospered. Anna Reich, a savvy entrepreneur, arrived in 1950. She saw an opportunity for a retail clothing venture using her own style, direct from the fashion capitals of Europe.
I finally come to Sydney and I was dressed in a new fashion. I remember walking Pitt Street and everybody looked at me because I brought a new look with me, you see. I definitely did think that I was right time for this type of business, yes.
In the 1950s, Australia was booming. We were buying up new cars, modern appliances, and eager for the latest fashions.
Let's see the jacket off.
Instead of sewing their own clothes, working women were now buying off the rack.
Yes, that's going to look beautiful.
I think woman was hungry for fashion and to look good.
While Anna hit Sydney at just the right time, she was in Europe at exactly the wrong time. Before the war, she'd hoped to become a doctor. But back then, Jews in Poland were prevented from studying medicine. In 1942, when she was 22, Anna was captured and shipped to the Plaszow forced labour concentration camp. After 12 months hard labour, the camp was shut down.
Then we were sent to Auschwitz and asked to go to this, what's supposed to be showers. There was many selection, you know, and so with a finger to the right or to the left, who would survive. But then, to my biggest surprise, just before we went, what's supposed to be the showers, but maybe it was the gas chamber, the list it come of Oskar Schindler, and I was lucky to be on the list.
The list was Schindler's List, made famous by the Hollywood film about Oskar Schindler, a German businessman who saved Jews by employing them in his munitions factory. Anna and her husband were among the 1,200 rescued by his brave actions.
Mr. Schindler, he was just remarkable. I must say, I owe my life and whatever happened after to Schindler.
Anna lost her sister and parents in the Holocaust. In 1952, Anna opened a small women's clothing boutique in Sydney's northwest, Anna Rich for quality and fashion.
Whatever I choose, and my windows, I dressed my windows, and it was such a success that we was virtually sold out. People apparently did like what I was selling.
Business was booming. In 1962, she and her husband expanded and built the Eastwood Shopping Arcade. It's still there today.
Amazing. You wouldn't know the same place. How it did change is just unbelievable. Here was a butcher. Here was a menswear. Well, all this, right to the corner and to the right, that was our display windows. And there was 2 stories. Here we are. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, you've got there a big one.
92-year-old Adam and 94-year-old Maury Perkel are Jewish refugees from Poland.
The shoes or boots? Shoes.
The brothers arrived in Sydney in the late 1940s and set up a custom-made shoemaking business.
In the beginning, I used to work until 12 o'clock in the night time, and I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Hard work doesn't kill anybody, it makes you only miserable.
Adam and Maury learned to make shoes while still in school. They have been working together in Sydney 6 days a week for over 60 years.
I respect him. He's the oldest. No, this one. And it's no quarrels.
One of their specialties is making shoes for people with disabilities.
I love to make shoes for people which are disabled and make them walk again. That's what I love.
The doctor, he had an accident and his foot is now shorter. We are finishing the uppers and the soles.
Adam and Maury's success hides the horrors they witnessed growing up as Jews in Poland. Across Europe, Jewish buildings were destroyed by the Nazis. The brothers were 18 and 20 years old when their mother, brother, and scores of Jewish townspeople were killed when their synagogue was bombed.
After my mother and brother were burned alive by the Germans, I said to my brother, let's go and save our lives. Father said, go and save your lives. And I smuggled myself across the border into the Russian-occupied Poland.
Younger brother Adam didn't make it to Russia. Instead, he got hold of false German identity papers and disguised himself as a Gentile, working in German factories for 4 years.
A sandal.
If Adam's Jewish identity was discovered, he'd be shot on the spot.
From lining.
In 1944, his luck ran out. Caught up in the wrong crowd, Adam was arrested, although his Jewish identity remained secret.
The Germans came in, the Gestapo, and they arrested the whole block for about 30 days. They questioned me, and they sent me over to Mauthausen. In Mauthausen, I was there, concentration camp, and I was there also as a German Häftling, it's a German prisoner. So I wasn't so badly treated like all the others.
At the concentration camp, Adam's sewing skills saved his life.
When we come out in the morning from the appeal, so they ask, who is a Schneider, a Tyler? So, like an angel came and picked up my hand, and I said, I am.
After the war, older brother Maury returned home to try to find his family.
I arrived in Poland. No father, no mother, no brothers, no sisters, nobody.
From a family of 10, only 3 brothers survived. Adam was reunited with Maury in Sydney in 1948.
Yes, it was a very happy thing.
A miracle.
Yeah.
Do miracles happen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, those are the girls that my mother saved.
Annetta's survival was also a miracle. The day after she arrived in Sydney, She met Joseph. They were married soon after.
Okay, that was the outfit I was wearing when I met my husband. And
Your own design, you told me.
And you fall in love.
And how? All my life I've had it. This photo, all my life.
As a young couple, Annetta and Joseph worked long, hard hours to build the business.
I actually took off the door from our bedroom, and I put it on the bed. Annetta made the patterns, and she drew the fabric, you see, what I've got to cut, and I was the cutter.
Henry and his two sisters grew up working in the family business, and still do.
My earliest memories was when I used to pick up the phone from the age of 4 or 5 and answer the phone and speak to customers and sell them and drape with my mother and see my mother working, lining up fabrics, lining up laces, making things happen, and my father working industriously, because things were tough and tight and always done with elegance and respect and humanity.
Well, we worked so hard to be able to, let's say, to put it in a language, plain language, to make some money, to be able to give the children education, to give them a good living, what we missed. So we wanted to give them the best. We sent them to ballet, we sent them for drawing lessons.
And they can also have
Joseph and Annetta shared their trade secrets, but kept their Holocaust stories to themselves.
We had our philosophy that we will not tell the children what we went through the war. Why? Because we wanted to bring them up as dinky-die Aussie children. And so
and no
forth.
hatred, love.
And also love and affection for everybody, right? So we said, when they'll grow up, then we'll tell them. And we did tell them at one point, and my wife will tell you why.
No, you say.
No.
No.
So,
no, go on.
Go on.
No, when the Schindler's List came up, the film. So I took
Schindler's List.
Yeah, we took the children, and I said, can you see that and that and that? I was there, and they couldn't believe. So I said to them, okay, I'll tell you the whole story. I'll take you to Poland, and I tell you our roots. I'm going to take you on a Krakow tour, the way I remember when I was a little girl. The way I remember. Now did you, buddy? And we were there until the liquidation of the whole ghetto. Very difficult. Very difficult. Yeah, very traumatic.
They could not believe it, what they saw. Because my wife showed them her town and where she was born and her life. And then I showed them my story.
On the left, there is one balcony. It was my parents' bedroom. And then there is a smaller balcony, and that was our bedroom. It made a big impact on them, what we went through in our lives.
They said, we always loved you, and now we even love you twice as much.
We are the next Australian generation right after the Holocaust, where it was not easy for them in Australia in the beginning, and it wasn't easy for them before, and yet they made the most of it.
Adam and Maury also made the most of their new Australian life, a life that saw them mixing with the rich and famous.
Bee Gees, Beatles, Frank Sinatra,
Sammy Davis Jr. and Ian Thorpe, all of them.
I just made his last to make for Bob Hawke a pair of blue shoes. The shoes I made for walking.
Although proudly Jewish, for many survivors, the Holocaust raises tough questions about God and religion.
Religion is a thing which, look what religion did in the world. The biggest
don't
wars.
Discuss religion, please.
Biggest war, so...
Don't discuss it.
I don't.
All right.
Well, I did suffer as a Jew, so I still identify myself as Jewish. I was doubtful when these horrible things happen, when the children are killed, and makes you think, where is God? And a lot of people, Jewish people after the war, which did go through a terrible time, I know two brothers. They step right away from the Jewish, being Jewish, and the other brother did become very Orthodox. So it's very divided.
I was born in a very Hasidic family. But you see, my father was a scholar, and he was a businessman. Also the rest of my family, our grandfathers, uncles and so on. So I just could not understand how come, if these people were so religious and adhering to every principle of Judaism, why did God allow Hitler to kill them? I couldn't understand it. And it took me quite a while to go back to Judaism actually here. When I sent the children to school, that was the awakening back. And now, you see, I like the atmosphere, I like the whole thing. Friday night, my wife put on candles. I made the blessing for the family over wine, and we had traditional food.
When you think about the practicality of what Hitler wanted, he wanted the annihilation completely of an entire race of people. So Bridal is about new beginnings, about Hitler not making it to the end, about Jewish people against all odds. And I suppose it comes from the will to survive.
Cut it, right?
That's gorgeous.
In 6 decades, this family firm has sold more than 300,000 bridal outfits.
And I can assure you one thing, the minute the guy set eye on a gorgeous bride with a veil, they blubber.
Nice.
Do you recognise yourself?
Not really.
And then, over we go. It's mystical. It doesn't have to be religious, doesn't have to be anything, but what it is, it's a real demarcation between ceremony and reception. Look how beautiful. It just softens your shoulders, and it's just fantastic. Mum, yes. Take a look at this.
Annetta's promise that if she survived the concentration camp, she'd make bridal outfits has been fulfilled and is thriving.
A little bit of vodka.
You're drinking a bit of vodka?
Yes.
It's a dream carried on by Henry.
Well, I'm not.
This is absolutely beautiful.
Very beautiful.
So I'll take the bouquet because you're like, are you thinking My parents' formula is they're never retiring. Don't even say that word retire because it's not for them. They'll never retire. My parents always say there's no future in getting old. And I actually agree with them that my future does hold being like them. Retiring is not going to make you young. And that is their secret. Plus, steel determination and kind of facing, life on a string and understanding how precious life is. That's the secret.
You got the keys?
Yes. The health will permit me, I will work until 120. Because I love my work. It's not a physical work. And also doing the books, that keeps me going physically and mentally. When I'm here working, I don't feel sick, I don't feel aches and pain.
If I will work, until 120 years, I like to help people.
Now I go again through a difficult time of my life because I'm 92 and I'm torn between 2 places.
Those 2 places are Anna's apartment and residential aged care.
and I have to make the final decision and stay in this place. I call it the God's waiting room. But still, it's not such a bad waiting room.
Do you like it?
I love it.
Mum?
I love
Love
it.
it.
Mr. Beinreich?
Very elegant.
Sister?
It's beautiful. I love it.
Are you saying yes to the dress?
Yes.
Yeah! Mazel tov. Mwah. Mwah.
1, 2, 3.
Mazel tov!
She's so slow.
Next on Compass.
I'm 3-4 weeks away from donating my kidney to a stranger. It's a major operation. 1 in 3,000 people die from it. It was about 18 months ago I first read about it. From that moment, I haven't had an ounce of doubt.
I'm trying to be supportive. I'm very worried behind the scenes.
People have said, are they going to be someone that deserves it? And I think that's just the most horrible question.
My Kidney and Me, next on Compass. See you then.